Alright. Happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome to the Lost Begotten channel, where we have another questionable camera stand at best, obviously. Blanket and some pillows. Why not? I was gonna use cigarette packs, but then many interesting things happened around me, and I had to cancel that video, so here we are with a glowing tape cross of science and the last boat supper. Yeah. I love that painting. Anyways, so happy Saturday. And yeah, I film a lot on Saturdays, and you might have noticed I don't often say happy Saturday. I don't know if I've ever just opened up a video and said happy Saturday, but this has been a long week. Oh, oh. Wow. Anybody else? Anybody else have just a very long week? See, I don't know if you heard, but here in Baton Rouge, we've got a little bit of a reconstruction effort commencing, and it appears to be a bunch of people who did get flooded, and a bunch of people who didn't get flooded, and a bunch of people from out of town, all on the fucking highways at once. And the people who didn't get flooded don't seem to give a fuck about the people who did get flooded. And frankly, neither do most of the fucking contractors and shit with their big pickup trucks, just fucking trying to hog the goddamn road like they own it. Got nothing a big pickup truck. I got nothing against pickup trucks. Pickup trucks are very wonderful things, very useful things. They are not sports cars, and they are not weapons. Okay? Get over yourself. You're not enough of a man inside your fucking truck? That's all you're doing. Every time you're a dick in your pickup truck, you're proving that you are not a fucking real man outside of your pickup truck. 100% true every single time. You might as well just have a fucking tattoo on your forehead that says douchebag. So anyways, sorry, a little tirade there. Somebody was commenting on one of my videos. I don't script videos. This is just me rambling and raving and man. Getting caught up in my feelings, as it were. Yeah. And making stupid faces at the camera. Okay. Yeah. This cigarette is not cooperating. There we go. Okay. So, let's see. What did I have? I had like some things written down in the corner of a random piece of scratch paper. Oh, it'd be really nice if I could read my own handwriting. It really would. Pattern of deception. Oh, yes. Okay. So, let's do something different today. I haven't been watching the news lately because I've been taking care of fucking clownfish and many other things. Well, if there's any news that you think I should know about, put it in the comments. How about y'all give me the news today? And today I'm going to be talking about some deep spiritual shit. Okay? Because I need to do that more. And I can't get around to it. Because I've just been blah lately. I've just been blah. It's been a very long blah kind of week. Anyways, so the basic pattern of deception from Nod. Okay. No hand movements. If the screen blackened just then, that was boom, you know? Okay. Get used to it. Okay. My hand was at rest on my leg. See, when you see that right there, that's my hand hitting my leg. And this one just kind of sitting there. Yeah, anyway. And no, it didn't move at all. Shit just happens on camera all the fucking time. I do things on camera all the fucking time for people to see. Because you know what? I wish I was crazy, but I'm not. I'm comical, yes. Because I don't, I don't put a lot of effort into these videos. And I try to be entertaining. I try to be, watchable. So at least if you don't agree with me, you'll hear me out long enough to laugh at me, right? Just a little bit of strategy. I'm not always half asleep, believe it or not. Just that's usually when I have time to make a video. Is just when okay, look, just got a fucking moment. Let me get some stuff out that needs to be shared. And this is something that I think would help people get a lot of what I'm saying, because whether it's Christianity in general, okay, whether it's liberalism or conservatism, different wars, Vietnam to Korea, Iraq, especially Iraq, Iraq again, Iraq again. The pattern is plot, inform, accuse. Okay, so you cause something, or they, up, north is up, right? They cause a conflict to unfold. They cause people to politically unsettle, to rise against the government. Okay? Then they tell us about it, or they have different people that we don't know work for them tell us about it. And then when we take action, they then shift to accusing us of being evil for what they A, caused to begin with, and B, gave us our perspective on. So, Bush had this intelligence he couldn't tell us about. But he saw right to Vladimir Putin's soul. Usually when someone is awestruck with how much trust they can have for someone, it's because of a gift that seems like a great truth. So what was that great truth that Vladimir Putin gave to George W. Bush? Well, we don't know. But we know that shortly afterward he invaded Iraq, didn't he? And then we know shortly afterward, we know this. Okay, you may not know this until you watch my channel. There's a lot of very long, tedious government type people presentations where you can learn this if you bother. Okay, I put all these facts together here on this channel, but the fact of the matter is, and just glancing at stuff that isn't there to try to remember. Okay, the fact of the matter is, after we invaded Iraq, Putin used Syria to help former Baathists who used to be his customers. Okay. Apparently they weren't very good customers. I don't know. I think they did start trying to build their own AK-47s. That might be a big part of it. But and other weapons. It was they had been building those, and then they had gotten the capability to build some of the nicer ones that they kind of weren't allowed to. But anyways, they sent munitions and explosives and everything else they needed to Syria. Okay, they took the old stuff from Syria and they shipped it to Iraq to the Baathists. Okay, and even in many cases, some very high-powered, brand new, had to have been manufactured out of country, not in fucking poverty-stricken war zone type of explosives. Like you're not gonna sit there and maintain a refinery a distillery long enough to make this kind of stuff in a place where we're doing searches and all. It had to have come from out of there. But we that's just logic, okay? We actually know that this was going on. We know that these supplies were being run from Vladimir Putin to Syria, then from Syria, from the Assad regime to the Baathists, which now we know as sure. Which apparently I can't say on camera because can't talk about Fight Club or some bullshit. I don't know. In 2011, basically the big revelation that I had to reveal was not only about Nod, okay, and I've been, I did it on Facebook for a while, and apparently I communicate better in person than in text. um, because people who didn't know me very well thought it was kind of bizarre. I can understand that. I was even saying while I was saying bizarre shit, look, I know this fucking sounds crazy, but it's right, okay? It's about Nod and the unknown devil, the forgotten devil, the whore of Babylon, mother of harlots and abomination. Beware! In capital fucking letters in the Bible, yet most people think the devil is a male deity. Not so much, dearies. Not so much. Looking at my fish tank, sorry. So yeah, that was what I've been going on since 2011. And then basically the people who I'm actually aimed against, okay, while I was getting my bearings, okay, I'd woken up, okay, this person that is speaking right now had been asleep for hundreds of years, okay? The person that had lived up until that point, Sean, kind of took a back seat. Meanwhile, I got my bearings, okay? I had what I had learned as Sean. And then I woke up and realized, no, some of those things just can't be. Because I understood what happened up until about, let's say, 1500. Okay? I really can't pinpoint exactly because for all I know, those dates could be bullshit. But it could be somewhere between the late 1400s to the mid 1600s. Not exactly sure. Alright, but anyways, I was definitely gone for a while. So I needed to relate my old knowledge to what had happened in the past few hundred years, which, damn, a lot has happened. Even in a post-apocalyptic world, a post-apocalyptic world, Poke-an-apostate world. Pin the tail on the prostate or something. I don't know. Ow. So, before I get talking about post-apocalypticism, which is a word I just made up just now to describe whatever the hell I was talking about, we get back to this little box note I had, the pattern of deception thing. So, these are repetitive things, okay, and they've been happening again recently, like in Ukraine. This is the same exact thing that happened there, okay? But Ukraine kind of went in a different way than they thought. Like, they started it, then the CIA tried to manipulate it to, a positive outcome. People like to say to our advantage, but it's really not to our advantage. We have the objectives of keeping people free. so we can do business with them. But they are still free to do business with anybody else. Okay? Sorry if we offer people better deals and have nicer fucking shit. Okay? Um, Generally speaking, if you want something really nice for the price, buy it from America and you'll do all right. You want it really nice and you don't care about the price, buy it from Germany. You know, isn't that, you want it really cheap and you want a lot of it, you buy it from China, right? Anyway, because that's how America used to be, and we're getting back to that, thanks to a certain very hated on YouTube president who, yeah, does right by me. You know, I've pointed out the two things that I thought Obama did wrong his whole fucking time in office. Okay, but I've pointed out hundreds of things that he's done right. And meanwhile, I take a look at these fucking conspiracies, and it's just how prejudged, how already filled with hate do you have to be to believe these fucking things? Okay, they're capitalizing on your emotions and preventing you from thinking logically about things. And that's what this pattern of deception is all about. Okay? The funny thing about Obama is Putin, well, not Putin himself, but Putin's predecessors, theoretically, if Putin is in fact mortal, and that's a big hypothetical as far as I'm concerned, but I'll talk like a normal person for a second. So Putin's predecessor, just a second, Putin's predecessor would have thought that Barack Obama would be a communist agent. And I'm sure there were some people within the Russian establishment, while Obama was gaining popularity, thought, excellent. Okay. And you know what? I hope I'm not saying too much here, but I bet you he knew that. And I bet you he played along. Much like I would have if I were him. You see, growing up like I did, growing up like Obama did, living in a bunch of different places, but being an American to your soul, okay? You watch other countries and you analyze how much better, how lucky we have it here. And luck isn't the word. How the American people have built not a utopia for themselves, but a place where free will can finally truly exist. Okay, and people can make the choices to do right and wrong without being oppressed either way. That's what America is, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is. And Barack Obama understood that, but he still played along. So at some point they realized he's just playing, or maybe they didn't. Maybe he thought he's still on the team. Excellent. Let's out him. Just to make everybody in this country turn against their own government. Would they use their own agents that way? Oh, yes, you bet your ass they would. Especially if they weren't sure whether or not he was still loyal. I don't think he was, obviously. But I don't think he ever was. But there's certain things like wearing the black glasses, okay, you can do to hint that you're on that team. Reciting certain rhetorical lines. Well, that might have triggered a lot of the Fox News type people who are familiar with those patterns. I'm not sure about what level of wisdom they applied, okay, but they were eventually led into a vast fucking dark spiral of bigotry and prejudgmentalism against this president. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. But when he took office, and since he's taken office, he has performed as a centrist, okay, and made very wise decisions that don't give anyone too much power. In the meantime, all this conflict against him has weakened our government, has weakened our national security to unbelievable levels, okay? Because something that Republicans forgot is that you're always supposed to give a certain level of respect to the president once they're president, you know? And you always campaign as if that person might win and you still have the intention of keeping the country together. That's why John McCain corrected people from saying things that were rooted in Russian propaganda, but Donald Trump, who was a Russian agent, hasn't bothered making such corrections. So, in this post-apocalyptic time, okay, the actual Armageddon battle and everything occurring 1,000 years ago, um, starting, oddly enough, around the year 666, and climaxing in basically the first millennia, okay, 1,000 years, okay, on time, because if you look at the translation of, I believe it's written as a time, and times, or something like that, and they referred to individual words that added up to a certain number, which meant 1,000 years, right? It's pretty well known. I'm tired. Um, that it's supposed to be 1,000-year period. And then there's another group of people who will tell you that it's plain to see that this was supposed to start imminently, okay? Soon. Now is the time, okay? So 1,000 years later, the actual crusade happened, and Israel was reclaimed by Jews. Not Jews, not the tribe of Judah, many tribes of Hebrews, of Israelites from Europe, where, most of the different tribes that you think now don't exist settled. Well, half of them, almost. But yeah, there's an easy way to divide up pretty much every non-assimilatory culture and trace them back to a different tribe. Ooh, look, the fuzzy of the blanket is showing up on the camera. That's not kosher. Speaking of Jews. Okay. Fucking stay. Alright. So anyways. And, there is an indeterminate period, and people don't like to think it's 1,000 years because that sounds too long. Okay, but good news for them, that's already happened too. It's now 2,000 years later. Okay, it's now 2,000 years later. 1,000 years after Armageddon was fulfilled. Imagine that. And we're stuck on this late 1800s bullshit as far as the Jews returning to Israel thing. But you see, what people don't realize is that the main thing that I've been pointing out on this channel, as far as the strategy of everything goes, just look at the map. Okay, you have Europe, you have Islam, and you have the Mongolian horde. these two forces that we're battling joined and then carried out basically a rapture against a completely now forgotten type of Christian. Okay, and that's also prophesied that now in this 1,000 years after that, okay, after basically the man of sin had his way with the earth for 1,000 years, away for 1,000 years, here for 1,000 years, okay, and then done away with in 2011 on video. Back up to answer for his deeds. Well, during this time, it's said that the people who consider themselves to be the Christians, consider themselves to be the religious, proper people, they would be what's left in this dark world after this rapture of this true Christian faith, the truly faithful. Okay. And then when this time, 2,000 years later, of judgment came, there would only be 144,000 of them, clothed in white. Okay? And people like to picture these 144,000 people being what, the only Christians or the Jehovah's Witnesses or whatever. There's what, 11.5 million Jehovah's Witnesses. So good luck. The 144,000 people are the remainder of the old tradition of Christianity that was first wiped out by force and then diluted through, just century after century of propaganda. That would be Johannism. And those survivors, the 144,000 clothed in white this day, are the Mandeans. I know I'm repeating myself, but not everybody watches all the videos, so just wanted to get some important stuff out there while I'm talking about two important things that last night in my nearly vegetative state seemed like important things for me to bring up at some point soon. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Like and subscribe. Peace.